What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Movie Files. Joining me, closing doors, is the one and only
Well,
Jace.
I was closing door on the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean TV universe. So had to get that done.
Yeah,
What can I do?
clever, nice job. Or you forgot to get ready. When I say are you ready?
Lies.
So, there are a few things I want to talk about today. First up, the aftermath of Secret Invasion, which is not shockingly not great. Some more MCU news, Wonder Woman 3 news, which is like, oh, who saw this coming? And a little bit more on Crisis on Infinite Earths, the animation movie coming from DC Comics.
Okay. Well,
What's up, 80s kid?
Let's go to 80s.
I mean, sometimes he gets the invite, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he's like, I didn't get it, even though it's in it, but we'll see. So let's talk about Secret Invasion. Apparently, nobody likes it. And no one's really feeling it. And I think it's just been hilarious reading how the director who directed every episode of this season was like, yeah, I don't really worry about fans talking about me and et cetera, et cetera. And now he's going, well, yeah, actually, and this director's Ali Salim. He's worried that he might get some death threats about what happened to Rhodey, and also because he's a guy who took out Maria Hill. So I'm actually going into hiding now. And he's saying that tongue in cheek to the Hollywood Reporter, but I don't think people are really loving anything that he's done. After Child's in the building, what's going on?
Don't know.
Secret Invasion was bad, all caps. That's no secret. It was wide out neon lights. It's like a Hollywood sign of neon saying Secret Invasion, bad, but in green neon. Because everyone should be able to see that it was a terrible show. Just like Nick Fury should have been able to tell, hey, these guys are Skrulls. So yeah, it's 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. The overall consensus is not good. Death toll for the MCU. It was trash, it was terrible. And now there's some more tidbits, and I am just absolutely astonished to read. So there was a mention here in this one article that Nick Fury is going to return in the Marvels later this year. But we've heard the Secret Invasion likely won't be referenced in that movie.
It goes against the whole Kevin Feige, everything's connected. I mean, because this should have been basically like, you know how at the end of Black Widow, which should have been years ago, the next thing you see her doing is basically starting Infinity War. Like that literally goes right to it. That hurt Nick Fury beaming up to the ship should be the next thing that happens in the Marvel, where his wife is on board, she's helping all her fellow Skrulls do whatever, avoiding capture in the whole planet because now they've been outed as shape-shifting aliens that Nick Fury couldn't see at all. And I've watched a couple people say when they're like, well, I didn't dislike Secret Wars wasn't that bad. I'm like, Secret Invasions. And I'm just like, I like to hear. I like to hear different opinions on stuff that I'm like, I think that was trash. But because I don't want to be like, yelling at somebody like, oh, your opinion doesn't matter. But I'm like, what did you like other than the performances? The story was unarguably bad. I mean, it was just like there was bad continuity. Stories didn't make sense, and characters weren't, which we've known over,
weren't consistent at all from how they've been previously written.
Yeah, over 15 years. So there's nothing there. So
it seems like nothing's going to be mentioned. Because if you remember, at the end of Secret Invasion, Varys said, I'm going to come up with you for a little bit of time. So that leaves the door open for her to have gone back to Earth when the Marvels takes place. So we have absolutely no reference whatsoever to the show, which also gives credence to the fact that these Disney Plus series are very much like the Netflix shows that aren't connected to anything. They can reference anything that goes on in the MCU all they want, but when it comes time for Big Brother, the MCU, the movie realm of this, to acknowledge them like Roman Reigns, there's no acknowledgement. They don't exist. They don't matter, and you don't need to watch them. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, they're not trying to get the little brother the little rub. Hey, here's a little shine him up. Like, no, it's the whole, like, even just having Nick Fury's wife matter. I mean, because it didn't make any sense, but you could throw a one-liner like, where's your wife? Oh, she's back on Earth, for no reason at all, because the president of the United States has basically declared war on the whole Skrull race. So,
I mean, 80s kid, I feel like what they did was really solid from phase 1, 2, and they capped it off perfectly with phase 3. And I would agree that any Spider-Man film after Endgame made a lot of sense. The what? MCU Zia? Help me out. But I think what's happened, they've had too many people going, oh, make this, do this. And it's kind of diluted the brand to the point that I'm not so sure they can overcome it. And then in the same article I read, as expected, War Machine's return will next be touched on in Armor Wars. So what are we going to do with that?
When is Armor Wars? When is Armor Wars?
I don't know.
I mean, because it's getting delayed by the writer and actor strike,
which may come to an end. They're about to go sit at the table this Friday, apparently.
Oh, that's a good thing. But labor disputes never actually end in 2 or 3 conversations. But these TV shows, it's like nobody's. I'm not clamoring for any of them anymore. It's just like that one just left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm just like, I don't need to. It's like, because it was like not having to watch or slog through 30 minutes of potential show of Secret Invasion was like, you know what? I like Wednesdays a whole lot more now. And what's going on? Yeah, I'm so good right now on them, and it's like I don't think they're not gonna make you care about these TV shows. So why bother?
Yeah, I mean, if everything is disconnected, where things that happen don't really matter, because I feel like I'm gonna get the gist of Ms. Marvel without having watched the show. And I really like the show. I feel like of their TV shows, Loki, really solid. WandaVision, really solid. Mm-hmm. Falcon and Winter Soldier, really solid. And everything else kind of goes up and down, like a Star Trek series where one's good, the other one's bad. One's good, the other one's I feel like Ms. Marvel was entertaining and probably the best use of the Disney Plus format, where it's like, okay, I'm watching this week to week. It's fun, no real stakes, and that's cool because she's a street level character. I feel like Falcon and Winter Soldier could have been a movie. They could have just cut up some of the stuff that didn't really matter and just make a movie out of it. Hawkeye, I think that was another decent MCU Disney Plus show. It could have been. I mean, I don't know if I would have watched a movie with that storyline. I think it was fine.
It's okay. Like if you weren't starving for content, like just the premise, would you really have like, you know what, I want to watch? I mean, like Jeremy Renner, you want to show is like, want to see more of him is Hawkeye. But it's like if you told me, hey, give me the synopsis of this whole show from beginning to end, I would not have watched the show. Like, okay, well,
the show is based off of the Matt Fraction, David Aja Hawkeye series, which is a really good comic book series. It's Hawkeye, street level character. Maybe the Avengers come flying around every so often, but it's really just Clint Barton hanging in the streets, hanging with his dog. Kate Bishop comes through every so often. They're fighting crime. I mean, it's a pretty solid translation from the comic book inspiration, as opposed to some things like Secret Invasion, which do absolutely nothing for anything. Season 2 ruined Strange New Worlds for me. What's that, too?
Oh, well, that's Star Trek.
Oh, okay, thank
Yeah.
you. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like that was fine. Miss Marvel was fine. They were probably the best TV shows. Like the other ones that I liked could have been just fine as movies. Like and maybe WandaVision just because they were playing with TV. Loki could have been a movie. I watched a Loki movie. Definitely Falcon and Winter Soldier could have been a movie.
Yeah. Well,
Care.
Falcon and
I
Winter
don't think
Soldier
it
should have
matters
been a
about the
movie.
other stuff. Hmm?
Falcon and Winter Soldier should have been a movie. Like, I mean, like, because his that show directly was after Endgame. It was like literally like kind of the repercussions of how the world is actually dealing with everything, and how there's almost like there's a need for Captain America, no matter what. Like that's like that was a good thing for me. It's
We
like
probably would have had less therapist sessions if it were a movie with Falcon and Bucky.
I mean, I like I like Winter Soldier and his therapy sessions, but you could have had that in one or two sessions, maybe, so you understood it. Maybe one to kind of all right, it's a thing. Have it as like kind of like not like Flash when he and Iris were in therapy. You're like, what? This doesn't make sense. Like y'all don't even hang around each other enough to have a therapy. Issues in your marriage.
Speaking of Flash, and Afton Child says Moon Knight was the best for me. It's not surprising Afton Child loves Moon Knight, especially the Jed McKay version. But I was at the dentist getting some work done on my teeth, and our cool dentist, and they're like, "Hey, what show do you want to watch?" And it just so happened that whoever was there before me, you're laughing as if you know where this is going to go, but I guarantee you don't.
Go with it.
They had The Flash on Netflix, season 1, episode 1, The Flash. And I was like, you know what? I don't even need you to do any work. Just press play. And I watched I watched most of the first episode before I was done. I was like, I can stay another 10 minutes to watch the rest of this. And I was like, this show was so good. And I was like, wow, I forgot how great The Flash was. It was so good. And I was like, man, it took them a while to make me not want to watch the show anymore. But that first season is one of the best episode or best seasons of a TV comic book series. So good. And the only thing I wish they had was a better Flash costume, because if he had like the season 9 costume, also the best.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, like it was like I watched like Arrow kind of before I go to sleep, so I'm like, Arrow, you like go from Arrow, and then I just got to the point where Barry gets introduced, and I'm like, yeah, they were going with something here, and then you go from season 2, and it's like, oh, okay. I mean, then you go from Flash, like, wow, and it's like you even see the reveal Harrison, and you're not even like, oh wow, it's like, but yes, we're into something that not everybody else does, but you don't really know who he is until far later on in the season. And that works really well. And it's very much like kind of how if you don't know who Dark Archer is until the reveal, and it's like, oh, cool. Even though like comic book people, y'all probably knew like way like, oh, I know that name. You silly people. And I didn't know until I actually watched. I was watching like the animated show. It was like a short DC comic with Arrow and Black Canary.
Yeah, that was good.
And it's like, yeah, I was like, oh, they kind of downgraded.
Neil McDonough did the voice of Green Arrow, didn't he?
No. I'm not sure, but it was so cool to me, and it was just like, wow, they really had for. I don't want to say up until Crisis, but I think they had it looked like they had something really good, and it just kind of. I mean, just like kind of how I think DC, when they you spread your focus so much, you take your eye off the ball, and then you got people like, yeah, I want to make She-Hulk about a legal drama, but we don't know how to do legal. Sure, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, that was a problem. 80s Kid says the first season was so grounded, which is really funny and ironic, because it was about a dude who got struck by lightning and moves at super speed, but they kept everything and made it make sense. And I don't feel like they lost the character thing. It was the problem we're seeing now with the Marvel shows, where character logic, consistency, paying attention to what happened before just kind of goes out the window. Characters are doing things that don't make sense. It was like, what in season 2, he never would have done this.
Yeah.
He's doing just whatever. And then 80s Kid goes, and then they remind us of the CW show. I feel like I'm trying to remember at what point. I feel like we could do this later on. Like what point the Flash went off a cliff. I'm not quite sure if it was season 4 with the whole thinker thing. I feel like that's where he started stumbling, and he was holding on to the rock, the mountain, and then every season after it kept falling a little bit more.
Yeah,
but that's my thought.
They never had a season like Arrow did with season 5, where you're like, oh shoot, they got it again.
Nah, they did not.
Yeah,
it was a slow plummet.
They kept falling off the rung of that ladder each season. Like, because it was like the problem is like everybody was like, oh well, they need to stop having speedsters, and it was like, yeah, and it was like, hey, you are recycling speedsters, but we took out his best with the rogues, which would have been easy, not speedsters. So we are left with recycling speedsters at the very end.
The Flash has a rogues gallery that stands right next to Batman and Spider-Man. There are other characters they could have used and carried them through, especially when they started going, hey, we don't need the villain to last the whole 23 episodes. We can split them. He had plenty that would have been fine.
Yeah, and then they started.
They should have got the CW Flash for the movies. It sure feels like that would have been the case. I love some of the Flash TV show. Is a great villain in the show. Yeah, he was really good, both versions of him. And that was wild and crazy. James Green is back saying, hey, that's why I asked Marvel come back from all the letdowns of so many shows. And James, I thought last week, yeah, it's Marvel. I'm not quite sure, but I feel like they can. I don't know anymore because they have wedded us so much to these Disney Plus shows. These Disney Plus shows have been taking a huge monkey wrench to everything that's happened before. And it's kind of like, at what cost? What did it cost you? Everything. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, well, what was the purpose of giving Gaia all the powers? And then how is there Thanos DNA if Thanos turns into dust when Iron Man snaps his fingers? How is there DNA of anything? And how would they categorize Thanos' DNA? Oh, here's a dust mode, and here's Ebony Maw's dust mode. How, Dean? How?
I mean, I watched again. I watched like a little thing where they were showing all these DNA. I'm like, nope, just no. It's like, yeah, like if you have some of these DNA, the others don't matter. They just like, do I really need Winter Soldier's DNA after Thanos? Like, there's nothing for me here. Like,
it's like a bogus version of Thanos' DNA, though. There's no way they have his DNA. Because he didn't fight them. He fought them on Wakanda. Wakanda's not letting anybody come through to get some blood scraped DNA.
Well, I mean, we got an agents of, now that we know where Wakanda is, we can have Skrulls randomly come in there after this idea. But no, remember the idea, like if we were taking this seriously, which I'm not at all. When he was fighting Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America, they got some good shots in on him. And then when Captain Marvel hit him, man, there was blood everywhere.
I don't know why she didn't just poke a hole in him with her powers and call it a night.
Again, let's just, the whole guy thing is just like, guys, you aren't going to take this anywhere. I don't think anybody's going to run with this ball and be like, when we're trying to do Kang Dynasty, we're going to bring back Gaia. Nope, don't buy it. Like, I don't think you're going to be, like, you may get her for Secret Wars, but I'm going to act like it didn't matter because it didn't. Like, by the time that movie comes out, I'm going to forget everything about Secret Invasion and I'll be quite happy.
So I was wondering, being able to get Emilia Clarke into the MCU, I feel like I'm like, who would have been a better character for her to play? And I'm kind of settling on Rogue. I feel like she has the quiet but ability to stand out and be up front of people to play Rogue pretty well. Like the quiet, shy version before she starts getting a little bit more like, hey, I'm cool. I'm fine with what I can do. And I'm not taking a cure to get rid of my powers. That's just crazy talk. I wonder if she could have done that because I feel like there's so many good characters left. Maybe she could have been Sue Storm, Susan Richards. I feel like that was a waste of her as big enough name actress to just go, hey, you'll be Talos's daughter. Remember Talos from Captain Marvel? That movie that means so much? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Captain Marvel is the most important movie in the whole MCU. Okay. As far as this show's concerned. Like, I think
80s kid goes, hey, is it all right if we take a blood sample? Yeah, right. Quit making us stuff, Marvel.
I just gave blood, maybe they got mine, whatever. But I don't know if she was like, I don't think any of the characters were written well. I don't think this is like the director saying he's trying to act like he takes it. It's like, dude, how am I going to shoot at you and act like you did anything wrong? You just used the material you're given. It was the writers. If you wrote the stuff, then I would have issue. But you're a director, man. You can only do what you the material you were given. Like
I'm not so sure if that's correct.
Like, if you were the writer and director, whoa, we got some problems, bro. But if that's not the case, I said it's like there was. You could have used Emilia Clarke should have been somebody you would put into a movie. I think, like you said, she was somebody you keep around for multiple movies, on a contract, not 6 episodes on a TV show. Was there actually rewrites? Because I don't see where.
When the director Slim came on, they had already written episodes, and apparently there was no freedom to make changes. It was just like, here, this is the script. You're directing the scripts, and okay.
Yeah. In that regard, you're like, yeah, I'm screwed with the material, and I can't tell you this is complete garbage, which I think most MCU, people would have been like, yeah, this doesn't make sense. I don't think this is useful. Like, oh, we're gonna kill Maria Hill just to make Talos back. Couldn't we have him kill Morgan?
Rabbits. The thing is they're bringing in people who they're explicitly looking for people who don't know the back and forth history of Marvel. I think the real problem is they're bringing on people who don't know the back and forth of the MCU. And that's a way bigger problem. I don't care if you don't read every issue of Secret Invasion, but you just need to sit down and watch the 21, 23 MCU movies that matter to Secret Invasion. I'll give you a pass on everything in Phase 4 because it doesn't count. But you need to watch that stuff. You need to know about the characters. You don't need to know 60 years of Marvel comics. Just what matters in terms of people watching, caring about what goes on, before. That's why there was so much outrage with the Star Wars sequel trilogy. It was like, there's no way Luke Skywalker's doing this. There's no way this is happening. There's no way Leia's going over on Chewbacca and telling some girl shit.
Oh, okay. That doesn't count either. You don't have that on your shelf, so it doesn't count. It's like, because I remember when we were talking about this with the Russo, that they didn't know about all this stuff. It was like, well, they made it good stuff, but it's like, that's on the people giving directions. Because you could tell me the premise of Secret Invasion, just to let me, because I did not read the comics. But if you told me we have an alien race of Skrull, but we're introducing Captain Marvel, that means, okay, I gotta watch that movie. In Nick Fury, who's throughout all these, I gotta do an IMDb search, and every time I see Nick Fury, I gotta watch that thing. And from there, I can give you Secret Invasion, alien race that can copy anybody, and then what's their overall goal? They're trying to take over the world. Then why don't they do it? Just on its basis, so wait, we have Rhodey, but he's not going to take out the president? Why?
That makes sense.
You lose just quick points on that. It's no, that doesn't make sense. And so you're in a lose-lose situation almost the whole time in that show. It's just nope, I can watch everything, know everything, but if this is the end point you want me to go to, I can't get there unless it makes perfect sense. You almost need you need Captain America to figure out this whole plot. and him taking out the president. Because, and then you kind of have it like the Avengers, then, then you make it right. Steve, I mean, now that Captain America's taken out the president, this is why we need the Thunderbolts to actually take over. Oh, wait, I actually came up with a better idea on what the Thunderbolts is already. Like, and yeah.
Put all the characters from Black Widow in there. 86 says, we still don't know who the FF are, and it was announced back in 2019. We know who Superman is, though. This movie was announced in January. So, funny thing about that, there's still rumors that Adam Driver may be in the running as Marvel Studios is struggling to cast the superhero team. And there's also some rumors now that they're trying to reach out to Matt Smith, who you may know from House of the Dragon, Doctor Who, and even Morbius. He's been offered the role of Reed Richards. Thoughts? Who would you like to see more? Matt Smith, Adam Driver.
Matt Smith. And Adam Driver does not give me warm and fuzzy or somebody you want to hang out with. Like, I mean, like even a nerd. I mean, like, a nerd. Like, hey, I can talk science all day. He just gives you the down. Like, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, how you doing?
He's a non-talkative bartender.
Yeah, it's like I'm not buying you pulling Sue at all, dude. Like, I mean, and this has nothing. Adam Driver's wife might be the most gorgeous woman in the world. I just don't buy him buying like in movie world. Like, I just don't buy it. So you need kind of somebody who looks like, hey, I'm in my stuff, but once you get me out of my shell, I can pull a Sue Storm. Like that's, or somebody would be interested in me.
He wows her with his big brain.
Yeah. Okay, let me know. But like I think how the casting of the first Fantastic Four was really good because it's like I could buy Ian. I do not know his last. Do not remember his last. So like I buy him being like, he did the role. Like he's like, I'm really smart, but once I get out of my head, oh yeah, hey Sue, I just didn't stop working when you were in my class. Like
what about Dr. Doom? How do you work out for you?
Dr. Doom, it's like I think I am used to kind of the Avenger, Earth's Mightiest Hero, Dr. Doom. Like, I don't have time to deal with you. I'm trying to take over the world. Like, can you go? Like, get out of here, Iron Man. Like, his dismissiveness of everybody was perfect. Like, oh, I'm working on the scroll thing. Get out of here.
You may leave.
Yeah, whatever. Like, I found what I need. Get out. Hey, Doom, we got you. No, you don't. I summoned you. Get out of here. Like, that's the kind, and that's the kind of Dr. Doom I'm used to versus, hey, let's go for a spin. Like, come on, like
that's so bad. All right, so let's talk about what dropped this week. Loki season 2 trailer. What did you think of the trailer first?
It picks up after where the events of Loki season 1. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Jonathan Majors. Just being 100% frank, I don't know what huh?
They showed him in the trailer.
Yeah, I know they showed him. It was like, okay, like I'm just like, you're not going to pull a Flash into the movie on me, episode 1. It's 2, and then from there it's like, I mean, like. After that, it's like, this will probably be the same kind of entertaining show. I'll probably pick it up. Yeah, I'll probably watch it for this show, but if it wasn't for this show, I'd probably watch it like episode 4 and then go from there.
So you're saying you wouldn't watch Loki if it wasn't for Lyle's movie files?
Ding! Yeah. I mean, like, I would, because again, on some level, the rest of Disney Plus shows have kind of gotten soured me on the week-to-week show. I mean, like, give me, because let's be honest, these shows are like half hour, and you're giving me a 1 week plus. Like, even Cartoon Network, when they were giving me the Justice League, gave you an hour worth of show before, like, okay, go to the next. Like, I'm not waiting week to week to get a half hour show. Like, that's a cartoon I watch weekly, every Monday through Friday, and then wait for Monday to run the whole cycle again. I'm not waiting week to week for a half hour show. Like, that's just lame.
All right, well, it just so happens, at least the plan way back in the day was, way back in May, that Disney Plus is going to release every episode of Echo on November 29th. So you're going to be able to watch Echo all at once. Thoughts?
Jeff, what do you think about? I'm sorry. Like, no, I'm not watching it. Like, no, I'm like, you really?
You just said I want to watch all at once.
And it's like Echo. Like the premise of why do I care about Echo? Give me freaking Daredevil. Like, I don't care.
That's why you're gonna watch Echo, because you want to see Daredevil. Gosh,
I'm sorry, like, because you tricked me with that whole She-Hulk. Oh, we got Daredevil.
No. Did you have Daredevil? It was the best episode of the whole series.
Yes, and my gosh, even he was stupid in that one. Like, come on, like, no, like I'm not doing it. Like, I mean,
won't do it.
So, okay, what is the premise of Echo?
Right, so all the questions.
No, because you like, again, this is one of them things. Like, hey, why do we have this show?
All right, here you go. Let me see. The series will tell the origin story of Echo, a character we've already seen, run around full bore, and whose ruthless behavior in New York catches up with her in her hometown. She must face her past, reconnect with her Native American roots, and embrace the meaning of family and community if she ever hopes to move forward.
Why do I need to have this villain rehabilitation in one? Like, she was a gangster. Like, what the hell do I need any more of? Oh, I'm a street level gangster. Here's my rehab story. Like, what? No, like, no. I mean, I don't understand what the thought, like, when they were like, yo, we should do an Echo show. Like, yo, that's what's gonna make everybody come back to Disney Plus. All the subscribers we lost, this is gonna be the show that gets them back. Echo, right here. No.
Afterchild says, give me Darth Revan from Legend and Old Republic, but not Disney. I mean, has Darth Revan even shown up on Disney yet?
Oh, well, there is a rumor that Revan is going to be coming to the Star Wars Acolyte series. I'm still not watching that. Like, I'm with you. Y'all can talk with Keanu Reeves. I'm like, no, I don't care. Like, my Darth Revan is the dude who does things on Xbox One, where I, like, that's and I don't even, it's like, and I still got issue with all the whole Darth Revan Reborn on an MMO, because that was trash a little bit. But yeah, like,
you got some thoughts. You got some Darth Revan takes.
I got some notes on that whole Revan thing. So, okay. Where they did Mitra and everything. Oh, I got issues on that.
Well, yeah. We are not going to be the home of your Star Wars Acolyte recap.
Oh yeah, we're sure. Sorry, please go elsewhere. We're not.
Sorry, boys. So you're sort of optimistic on Loki. I feel like for me, I'm most encouraged by the fact that it's simply one thing that's actually focusing on the multiverse and the multiverse saga, and we're into the midpoint of this saga, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we should probably do something else about that.
I mean, the thing that actually starts the multiverse saga, actually talking about the multiverse. It's like, why did everybody else not to get the, hey, this is like, when we actually doing a meeting, when everybody comes and pitches, here is phase 4. All right, y'all, here's what we're going to do. We got this thing. It's called the multiverse saga. You need to have, hey, have you watched CW's Crisis on Infinite Earth? At some point during your show, you're going to have to talk, or movie, you're going to have to talk about the multiverse. And you're going to have something that deals with an Earth that isn't our Earth. Okay, go forth, my children. Like,
all right, tell you what, I got you. All right, let's play this challenge. We're going to do this another one, but I'm going to insert the multiverse into everything that's come through in phase 4 and the start of phase 5. Let's begin.
Go.
You ready?
All right.
So WandaVision, I think, is fine because we bring in her brother, Ralph Bonner. So we've got that covered. Hey, how's he here? He's not really Quicksilver, or is he? And so then number 2 is Loki, clearly covered, no problem. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I got you. I thought about this. This is why I'm ready to take the challenge. Sharon Carter we saw is not from our world.
Sharon Carter
is multiverse Sharon Carter, who has assumed the role. She's not a Skrull, because that would be my better, cooler way of
sense.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna make her a doppelganger from another realm. What's next on? I have to pull this thing out here so I can break down the list. Let's see. Marvel, MCU, baseball. Right, so let's go here so I can make sure that I'm breaking them all down properly and in order. All right, so let's see here. What do I got? All right, so oops.
All right.
Let's see. Those are TV shows.
Okay. Right.
Let me go back to the movies. So Black Widow. You know, I'm just gonna not do Black Widow. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do Black Widow because Black Widow has no purpose for my multiverse saga.
Black Widow is phase 3. Like, let's just whatever it is, it's phase 3. Like
a retcon that in phase 3.
Yeah, like
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Very clearly, one of the dragons, some of the rings are from another world. Done.
Okay.
And
that's where all the rings are from.
Yeah, and then maybe at the post credit scene, instead of karaoke, we see the real Mandarin, the real one, with his 10 rings on his finger, looking at everything that's gone down with this other version that says he's a Mandarin. It's like, huh. And then he uses one of his rings to blast the screen and like, where are they gonna load me? Something like that. So there you go. Eternals, we just put them in a whole other realm. I mean, I don't understand why it would have been hard to work them in the multiverse saga. They're just fighting on different worlds and not this Earth. We don't need them involved in referencing the Avengers. Just put them somewhere else and let them fight.
Or why they didn't do Jack Scrap at all during Thanos. You know, the only one of them mentions like real world. It's like, hey, I didn't stop World War II.
Exactly.
Good job, bro. Another gang up job on that, making us kill each other a whole lot with. Like,
well, I mean, what they could have done with this post credit is after the big fight, and you can kill all the Eternals off, and except for Cersei. Cersei triggers her power, and this big light blast erupts around her. She wakes up, and she's now on Earth 616, and she's like, "What the heck is this? Who are these Avengers that just fought Thanos? What is this world?" And then all of a sudden, Dane, Black Knight, offers his hand and says, "Hello, you look like you need some help," with his charming Jon Snow, you know nothing expression. Bam, there's Eternals. No Way Home, Spider-Man, of course, we're covered. He deals with the multiverse. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, ditto. Thor, Love, and Thunder.
Okay. Cancel the movie. No. You don't have to work it into the multiverse because it doesn't matter. It sucked. It was horrible.
Well, I'm gonna drastically change that movie, but what I'm gonna do is have what's his face Gore go through different worlds, and I'm gonna have him on camera killing different versions of Thor, who could be Chris Hemsworth in one case, Jane in another, Beta Ray Bill in another world. So when finally he comes to this world and fights Jane Foster, Mighty Thor, and Thor Odinson, it's like, shoot, what's going to happen? No jokes, just treat it serious, and then it means something. So there's your tie-in to the multiverse there. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I'm going to lay you up so easily. Everything we watched was on a different Earth. Shuri goes, "I'm so upset at this." And then she looks into another world where her brother is still alive. Oh, look, he's now played by John David Washington. Now we've got Black Panther that Shuri wants to go to. Or we can just play out the whole movie the way it is. But she is grieving so much that she develops this teleportation device that takes her to another world where T'Challa is still alive. Done. That's the movies. Now let's go to the TV shows.
Ooh. Okay.
What do you think? I have a job with these guys or what?
No, you're fired. Like, no, you actually pay attention to phase 4. Like the multiple you're fired.
All right, so we did WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki. What If, again, self-explanatory, covers and explains the multiverse.
Why don't we have like Ultron What If come back and blast Thor Love and Thunder? Like make sure that doesn't happen. What else?
All right, let's see.
10 rings.
Hawkeye. Let's see. maybe Valeria is starting to get some signs that, hey, maybe things are not quite on the up and up, and she understands. She gives what Black Widow the heads up that, hey, there is something else going on here, because here's my picture, and it's a satellite feed of Sharon Carter knocking out Sharon Carter, and then she vanishes. What's up with that? Figure that out for me. Moon Knight is just existing within the sphere, the realms of the multiverse. So when he's switching his alter egos, he is going to a literal different world in these different identities. Miss Marvel, she just travels to another Earth during her flashback sequence where her mom is actually Miss Marvel. And maybe I'll rock her with a whole different outfit to give her that continuity of, hey, this is the connection between here. She-Hulk Attorney alone canceling that show. Give up.
Like, sorry, we got nothing.
And he says, I don't see why it's called the multiverse saga. They barely show us the multiverse. Exactly.
I mean, well, here's and this might be the thing. It's like they call it the multiverse saga, but the movies technically deal with the multiverse. I mean, Shang-Chi is kind of Shang-Chi, Thor, but the actual movies that are actually good cover the multiverse. Like that's where she's like when Kevin Feige was coming up with it, he said, "All right, that's a monster. What about this other stuff? I'm sure you guys got it. You guys will handle it." Like
spoiler, they did not.
No, but I think that's it's like, and then when he has to come to his press conference, like, I guess I got to keep calling it the multiverse instead of just saying Phase 4, the thing that happened that I want to forget and everyone else wants to forget. Yeah.
But the thing is, they just made it about the Skrulls. It would have been so easy.
It was
no, bro.
It was a layup. I mean, I think that's why us fans are like, this was a layup, and this is why I was excited because it's like you could have had you've already had Sharon Carter. Like you could have why is Sharon Carter so different than the last time we saw Sharon Carter? She's a Skrull. Oh shoot! Like all those people you've had in your TV show, you're not locked into trying to get movie stars into TVs and trying to squeak the money the same. It's like, hey, you're already getting this Disney money, so why don't you come over to this show, get a couple extra episodes, show a cameo, show you die right quick, bam, Skrulls. We don't need to do all this extra stuff oh, well, it's Gravit. You've never heard of Gravit, and he's such a bad guy. And Emilia Clarke, who you've never also heard about, Talos' daughter, Gaia. She's now the most powerful person in the universe. And now she should just be like that, Dr. Manhattan, be like, I have nothing to care about this world. I'm going to the moon. Freak y'all. Bye. I mean, Brady, yeah. Why is Gaia not deciding, okay, I can actually now, since the whole point of caring about the Skrulls was I can get you to a new world. She's got the power of a god. Make a daggone new world. Shoot, what do I? Sorry, this is.
I read something that was a really creative way to deal with her whole powered up deal. Was that the power use makes her weaker, and she keeps losing powers that she's acquired, and so it de-ages her or ages her. And she's losing the powers at a really rapid rate. There's too much power for any one person to contain in their body.
I would have required it to be happening in the second episode to actually go with making a better show, which they didn't want to do that whole thing.
Yeah, so okay. Maybe you got me on that. All right, so here, listen, we've been talking about it a little bit. Let's talk Star Wars news.
Star Wars, what you got?
What you got? Show me what you got. All right, so we're getting the Disney Plus spinoff. Because we love those. They're such high quality normally. And this was going to be focused on Orlando. And Donald Glover and his brother Steven are going to be writing the series. Now, that's good news. Donald Glover really nailed his Lando Calrissian, Billy D. Williams take. I felt like he really understood what he was doing. He was good. Maybe Anson Elgort will show up on here too.
Yo, are you saying he used the source material to inform his performance?
Huh. I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh, interesting.
Hey, look, 80s kid goes, why couldn't John Walker be an alternate universe Captain America instead?
Also would work. Yeah.
I mean, you're welcome to join our multiverse writing room, 80s kid, because I mean, I feel like we could do this thing so much better than what we're seeing going on play out right now.
Yeah.
So Billy D. Williams got everybody hyped up and excited because yesterday he tweeted, I am thrilled to share that something true. Wait, let me see if I can get my Man, okay, let's see what's going on. I am thrilled to share that something truly magnificent is coming soon. This is a dream come true for me. I want all that sustained and carried me through a lifetime of dreams and adventure. It is my honor to share with you. Make sure to enable notifications for stories and posts to stay in the loop. You don't want to miss this. May the force be with you. And I think that was pretty decent. I mean, you know, I've listened to Empire Strikes Back enough.
Okay, so
yes.
Even if you have Billy D. Williams just narrating episodes of Lando, so I'm good. Like that, man. You got me right there. Like, because the weird thing is like Lando is a character that we have known for 30 plus years, but there is a lot of open space of what he's been doing. Like
I said, Elson Engert. I'm not sure why. It's Alden Ehrenreich. That's really off.
Yeah. Like again, I think if Disney didn't come up with the whole we can't cast anybody beside our beloved characters anymore, which is the wrong lesson again. It's like you're not reading the room. It's like look at the comments on Last Jedi and look at what was next. It had no chance. But like I really think it's like one of those weird joints. It's like I don't know Solo will get the kind of prequel kind of love like after 20 years. Like people are like, yeah, that wasn't that bad. Like for real, that wasn't that bad. Now I mean, it's like I'm sure like in 20 years you're gonna have people talk about how bad Last Jedi was to just feel like, yeah, there's still no redeeming this movie. And whatever Rise of Skywalker, there's no redeeming these movies. Like they don't make sense. But
I mean, the problem is they just contradict themselves, much like Secret Invasion, where it's like, wait, this doesn't make sense from the movies in your trilogy that you've already had.
I mean, it's like if they learn any true lesson, it's do not give multiple directors and writers hands on a trilogy. Like, don't separate those two ever again. Like George Lucas can do it because I'm a micromanager, so I can have other directors, but I'm going to literally be like, nope, not doing that. Nope, not doing that. Nope, nope.
You know, he's all about the misogyny.
And also, who needs George Lucas to actually be part of Star Wars? Like, what does he have to do with Star Wars? Like,
who said George Lucas is the end all be all of Star Wars?
If you don't know that sarcasm, whole lot of sarcasm there, folks.
Whole lot of sarcasm there. And shout out to Star Wars Afterlife on that one.
Yeah, we won't be watching.
So James Gunn is the most refreshing guy on Twitter /X/Threads. Because he's just like, yeah, what do you need? I'll tell you. He doesn't care about being secretive. He doesn't care if he blows up the current DC film universe. Who cares? That's about to be done anyway. Bump your box office.
Bump your Blue Beetle.
I don't care. I mean, he's got the carrot like, hey, if it does really well, we'll make more. We'll incorporate it. So on Threads, somebody was like, hey, James got just a quick question. Is the new Crisis animated feature that's coming out soon a part of your DCU in the same way Creature Commandos will be? And James is like, listen, I ain't got time to go into these long, breaking down everything. I'm gonna give you one word. Nope. So, in case you were curious, this is the whole reason why James Gunn is like, now listen, don't worry about this stuff. That's not part of it. So you don't need to worry about Crisis in terms of meaning anything. But he did respond to another question asking, can we expect theatrical animated projects for the universe in the future? And Gunn, the very loquacious Gunn, says yes. What do you think about that? Are they going to do, what animated properties would make the most sense for them to do? Do you think they're going to be original, or are you going to think there'd be adaptations like some of their really good movies like Under the Red Hood, Flashpoint, Hush for the most part, The Judas Contract, The Death of Superman, second one. What do you think?
I think you gotta. I mean, I don't think you have to use the source material, but I think the animated properties, because you don't have to have them be part of the movie universe. They're just stories to tell.
No, he's not doing that. He said all this stuff's gonna be connected. It's not gonna be this Wild West, anything goes kind of thing. It's not gonna be like the sequel trilogy. Everything's gonna be tightly wrapped up. So if you see somebody in an animated project, they're going to be the voice actors on the big screen or small screen.
Yeah. That puts you in a big constraint because like the animated stuff can go very cool and tell like kind of stories that you're not focusing on. But like you could go to like a Mr. Miracle show or animated like the comic book. And
Again, then these kids said, listen.
Yeah, like that's where I took that from because it's like you don't have to focus on a show on the new guys, but you could do Mr. Miracle. Like you could do that and not have to worry about, oh, we're gonna come out with Mr. Miracle in the movies. Like you could do.
I would so watch. I mean, a New Guys movie would be amazing. The DC was trying to do with Tom King, and trying to make that happen. I feel like his take on it wouldn't have been fun. I think he would have made it really depressing and really just like wah, wah. And maybe that would have worked for some people, but I don't think after the Snyderverse, people would have been down for it. But the New Guys, Jack Kirby style, boom, in your face with crazy stuff happening in every panel.
But that's that thing is like the weird thing is like the New Guys almost would like, hey, do you want to focus your whole universe on New Guys? Like that's because they're like when you actually really look at them, like they're big giant superheroes. Like the New Gods, you got Darkseid. They got really big. I mean, all of them got really big personalities, like the New Gods and Apocalypse. So
let me ask you this then: what's the difference between the New Gods and say the Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't. The only thing I think is different between them is if you have to figure out where you would put a New Gods in your trilogy, like because you couldn't have them like too early, like because again you have to. It looks like James Gunn is trying to use Superman Legacy to boost the whole universe, so you got to figure out, all right, how soon do you get to a New Guys, like because you want to
they can be off doing their own thing, just like Guardians first one.
Yeah,
like, I mean, where nobody knows they're even around until Thor wipes out on Peter's starship.
I mean, but
you guys.
Well, at some point, I think we would some of us would get kind of annoyed if you told us Darkseid, but like y'all could have just gave us a Snyder damn verse. Like seriously, like don't give us that tease. Like, hey, we got Darkseid again. It's like, no, you ain't. Stop lying.
See, the thing is, I think what's happened. Everybody tries to make Darkseid like the Thanos, which is ironic, of the DC universe, where he's all over. He is like the Doctor Doom, the Green Goblin, the Magneto, Galactus character for the DC universe. He doesn't have to be he doesn't have to be the final boss. He can fight the New Gods because they're pretty much on the same power level as him. And you can see them and him fighting them for way later. He doesn't have to fight the Justice League or Superman.
All right, I got a suggestion because again, these guys have been around for forever. So you can have them almost like in the time during what was it? Themyscira is going on. It's like these guys have been fighting for 1,000 years. This is before baby Kal-El ever traveled to Earth. Like this is when you actually had a swap of Orion and Calabac. Like that could be your start off of your New God show.
It was Mr. Miracle and Orion.
Oh, okay.
My father's kid was Mr. Miracle. That he escaped because he's scot-free. And Orion learned to control his more bestial, wilder nature that he inherited from his father, and then realized the dark side is absolutely no good.
Wait,
great stuff.
Wait, what happened? I thought Calabac was the trade.
Nah, it was Mr. Miracle and Orion.
Okay. So so I'm using my Superman animated timeline. Calabac and Orion were the switch.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, they were. Just like that was in the anime, in the Superman animated. That was a switch. No, it can't be right. Like seriously, who do you think is probably right on this question? Wow.
What if Lex Luthor works for Darkseid? He would never work for Darkseid. He is so 100% I'm the best dude. I'm the most qualified. He is the DC version of Doctor Doom. He is not working, partnering with anybody. Anyone he works with is his underling. They just don't know it.
Yeah, I
Even Darkseid.
That was a big mistake in the whole DC in the Snyderverse. It's like, I don't like aliens, so I'm going to partner with alien. Yeah, no, like that was is like my job is, oh, there's more aliens. Hey, computer, teach me how to kill giant aliens. Like, it's not figuring out how to work with another. Like,
right. After Child, 100%, man. I really wanted to see the Justice League versus Legion of Doom / Injustice League. I mean, we never gotten that at any point in time from the MCU. That was kind of what I was hoping for when bringing in the Thunderbolts, because maybe they could incorporate, maybe Abomination is their fake me out hero / villain, you know, and then they wasted him in She-Hulk. But I mean, he could have been like a totally different visual, but he's still a super monster. And then when he gets revealed, it's actually him. And then the Thunderbolts, / Massive Evil, have to then fight the Avengers. But we never got that. And they teased this so much. And just with one line, I was like, oh, that would be awesome. And then we never got it. But oh, that would be great. And 80s Kid, yes, Darkseid was originally a Superman villain. So he was doing his thing. His debut was in Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. Not even in Superman book itself. He was there, go like, hey, Newsboy Legion, what are y'all doing? He was so like, they didn't treat him as the ultimate final boss. He was harassing these newspaper kids and Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, but like, let's say it's like they're the original, yeah, like that was a great thing. But I think it's like there was kind of a continuity change, like from like Superman animated. It's like that's what a lot of people. That's where we get our kind of, oh, this is Superman stuff. Like the big bat of the whole Justice League, Unlimited, Superman, Batman is truly Darkseid. He is the Thanos of everything. So it's like we kind of equate him as like he's not messing with some Batman issue. I'm trying to get anti-life equation. That's what my deal is. And since then, it's like, you know, you as somebody who has watched, like we read like the Jack Kirby stuff, New Gods, like you have a whole bigger knowledge than the rest of us. I mean, like a lot of men, because I don't. But me, I'm like, he's the Thanos. Like Darkseid is the Thanos level dude.
So yeah. So that's I think they could have done.
I'm like, okay, since I
just sent James the quick look up because the real quick search is like, you're wrong.
No, I am okay. See,
just look on the link. I'm gonna.
Where did you send this link? Because I saw it. It just popped out on my screen. Okay, there it is.
Private chat. There, just
all right.
Okay. So while you do that, I want to talk to everybody else. Wonder Woman 3 is actually in development at DC Studios. And this is not from some random blogger, some great influencer. It's from the one and only Gal Gadot saying to comicbook.com that, hey, it does look like I'm going to be doing more Wonder Woman. She says, I love portraying Wonder Woman. It's so close to and dear to my heart. From what I heard from James and from Peter, talking about James Gunn and Peter Safran, the architects of the new DC universe, is that we're going to develop a Wonder Woman 3 together. So, what do you guys think about it?
I'm laughing at that because they're like, seriously, it wasn't your fault. That trash Woman 2 was so like that lays on the feet of Patty Jenkins. And probably I think that was on the studio. I don't even blame Patty Jenkins. I think she got rushed on that show, on that movie.
What up, Blake?
What up, Blake? But hey, that thing is wrong. You just sent me. It's wrong. I don't care. I'm right. Blah, blah, blah. That was a bunch of Wikipedia people who do not watch Superman. That's wrong. Okay. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way.
James Green says, I believe it when it comes out. Oh, okay. Man. The cynicism.
Now, talking the thing you talked to everybody else about. The fact that Gal Gadot says that, I am actually excited because it's like, because she was good at Wonder Woman. I think we can all say she really did a great job as Wonder Woman. I think if you want to talk about one of the bright spots of the Justice League that does not exist, it was Gal Gadot.
we'll talk about the Zack Snyder cut. She was great.
I mean, like Zack Snyder, she was great in that, but it was like that was really like very much like, hey, we saw the success of Wonder Woman, and we want to have her really excellent in this movie, and I think they did a great job. I think what I'm worried about is like, why? I mean, I think again, this is kind of the weird thing is like, I think she did a great job, but why are you gonna bring her back? Like, you guys have a fresh slate. Go with it. I mean, it's like, again, it's like, I hate to say it, it's like I want all of those guys back. I mean, all of them back. But don't selectively say, yeah, they're there, but the rest of them weren't good. It's like, I mean, Henry Cavill literally quit a job thinking he was going to work with somebody, one of you guys. Like, haha, I'm here. Nah, you're too old. Freaking hell. like, The Rock is over there like, haha, I made a whole new universe. Nah, buddy. Like,
wait, you're right. For me, I was fine if they cut Batman versus Superman after Batman just whoops tail on those Jokers in a way we never saw Batman do in a live action movie before or since. And it was just great watching him just Batman those dudes all the way from the comic book up. And I don't find if they kind of figured out some way to wrap it. It just didn't bother with Doomsday. But Gal Gadot in that fight scene was awesome. She was great. Her movie was like spectacular.
It's like end of a team up, like kind of coming together to build the Justice League. If you would actually cut that, and like, we're taking Luthor to jail after that, based on what he did, and like setting up, kind of basically, all this stuff. Put Luthor in jail because he did stuff that was dirty. I mean, he blew up the U.S. What he did in Congress. So you could that was trash. Gosh, I mean, like, I'm sorry. And how does Mercy not have a freaking speaking line? Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, like, we like the Snyderverse stuff, but there's some problems.
Yeah. So you could put him in jail because the last half of the movie, Doomsday blowing up the whole city, but not the city. Right. Yeah. That you could have kept that. You could have kept that on the cutting room floor. Give me that in 3 more movies. And we'd have been
exactly. Are we rushing to get to Doomsday? He has 0 point except to kill Superman. Yeah. Speaking of killing Superman, let's go to it finally. Like this stuff. I finally watched Superman and Lois the season finale. I've been dragging my way through these shows because I don't have shows to look forward to review. So I'm like, let's just spread it out a little bit more. And I will say, while I don't have shows to review, I am watching shows, including Big Brother, which starts tonight as we're recording. So I get to fast forward the commercials. Awesome. Expect the unexpected. There's actually someone from Maryland on this season, so we'll see how long she lasts, but I got to root for her at least because, she's from there.
No chance.
Yeah, anyway, so watch the season finale. And I felt like this was a bazooka style. Let's throw everything at this wall to make sure the CW renews us. And it was so much stuff. I was like, wow. But I felt like through that prism of, we desperately need to make sure they don't get rid of us. I understood a lot of the choices. I know you were like, what the heck is this? But I'm like, yeah, y'all got real desperate. The season should have ended with the whole Mannheim storyline wrap. I think what I might do is pull a U with the Matrix Revolutions and just stop before the subway train that is Lex Luthor's getting out of prison. I'm gonna call it a season with the Mannheim arc wrapping, and act like the rest didn't happen. But there's so much stuff.
I mean, it literally it was like a bullet train of crap they threw at you. I mean, it's like it didn't tell you thought you were on the metro and you're actually on a bullet train. Hold on to the hammer. Whoa! Like,
what was awesome? There's so much stuff that I know is not gonna matter next season, and I was just smiling like, oh, I don't have to worry about this stupid storyline any longer.
You're getting rid of now. You're getting rid of now. You're getting rid of now. You're going to be you're not recurring. You're not recurring. It's like, it was just like, all right, hey, Colin, Christy, you got a baby. Get married. Get out of here. What? Hey, Lana and John.
Hold on. You're going way too fast.
Hey, I said it was bullets.
We need to dissect that. I mean, this whole thing with Kyle and Chrissy has come way out of nowhere. It's like, really? They're just two single women running around in Smallville. And
Yes.
Smallville is a small town. Nobody shot Kyle Dirty Look 1 for cheating on Lana and then getting with the newspaper editor. No one's like,
Okay. Like,
we're Team Lana. We voted her to be the mayor. So we don't like you anymore, Kyle.
That's
what would happen.
Well, he is the fire chief. So you can't be so mad at the fire chief who's basically had to put out 1,000 fires in your area. But I'm thinking a small town would probably have given him, because he cheated years ago. And now Lana finally, I found out who it was. Like, again, what benefit did this? The name is what broke the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, that was it. Like, he went to a bar. You mean the bar you said you didn't go to is where you were cheating? I am shocked and appalled. Wait, because there's only 3 other single people in here. You could have freaking shot a dart at half of them. Like, come on. Like, put a picture up. Bing! It's the bartender where the guy might be coming home smelling like booze. Is the one she cheated with. My gosh.
There's no way he's cheating on me with Chrissy.
Again, like, and I'm sorry, like, nothing against the lady, but it's like, how y'all's interaction, like, there's a bar. Like, what gets Kyle into your orbit? Like, at all. Like, I just did not buy that. It's like, and then, hey, can I jump to the end of the Kyle story?
Sure, why not? Yeah. As long as you're focusing on Kyle.
Hey, guess what? I didn't knock her up because great job, great parenting there. Like, how did you get, like, let's just say like 50, 40, and hey, who needs anything? Woohoo! Like, I'm probably teaching my young daughters not to be reckless, but me,
I have one daughter.
Jeff,
you're right. There's 2 of them.
He forgets about her too. Don't worry. Like,
the writers forget about her.
In fact, they made an episode about them forgetting was actually very funny to me. But I'm gonna knock up my, let's be honest, rebound girl, and then I'm gonna propose to my rebound at the big county fair.
I'm gonna marry that girl.
Like,
don't be rude.
I was just like, God, I know you guys need to get rid of some cast, and you're telling CW we're gonna cut this budget, we're gonna get rid of some people. But can we just come up with a better reason? Like, just nope, they're gone. We got rid of them. And it's like, the fire chief is now going to go to Metropolis because, like, and Christy's going to shutter the paper. Like,
the paper that no one was reading. But I mean, they didn't need 80 supporting characters. 80s kid is the rare Superman and Lois fan who says Lana was the best supporting character. I think Lana could have been, but they just trashed her because she acted really weird about this whole Kyle thing. And maybe that's more of a fault of the writers because they didn't need that storyline. Like, for the whole past of where their character arcs went, splitting them up didn't do anything. I mean, Sarah could have still been a screw up. Kyle really didn't need to have some other woman's child for no reason. It's just, it makes sense.
You have another kid he doesn't remember what her name is. Like,
yeah, it's just really weird. And then one of my favorite parts of the episode was Lana hooks up with John Henry at some random spot, and then she's like so mad. You know, like she's fuming. You can see the steam coming out of her ears when Kyle proposes in front of everybody.
Again, there
was no afterglow left.
There wasn't like the ink hadn't dried off their divorce papers. Okay, so like I'm actually taking Lana's side on that, but I mean, like, really, like, we've been slow burning this. Will they or won't they? John and Lana hook it up, and again, I understand. They say, "Hey, I'm about to roll. Hey, last night on Earth." I mean, I understand that, but it was just like, you guys know we do know they're leaving the show. like we don't have to kind of like at the end, it's like Lana's gonna be pissed off for 5 minutes because our mayor is gonna be leaving the show. Or I mean, like, we're gonna hear about our mayor in passing. Like, and John Henry is gonna also be in passing. So why the hiccup?
So here's the thing. apparently they're putting up for everybody who aren't the kids to you can re-up or we'll just write you out. Dylan Walsh is not coming back. He was General Sam Lane, one of the best supporting characters, who literally in every scene he was in was great. His wife was like, yeah, congratulations to everyone who now knows their fate on the show. My husband's not gonna be back. Well, y'all not move heaven and earth to bring him back.
Because he wasn't on every episode. Like you could have. I mean, as my wife would say, like she forces me to watch Real Housewives. Like if you want to get rid of a housewife, you just bump them down to friend of the show and then get them on a limited contract. Like here's a certain number of episodes. Like you keep whatever your salary is and keep.
That's hilarious. You're trying to blame your wife for
watching
Real
Housewives. Yes, I did. Because gosh,
you were there every week watching.
Gosh, yeah. But I think because he's actually you could have his story like that takes out the DEO whatever equivalent in this earth. So we've lost that now.
I didn't lose it. They can just have random regular guest star. Hey, the general told me to do this, but it sounds like they killed him, which is also a weird thing. But just because the poor dude decided, hey man, it's been too long. I've been off the wagon. I need to go meet somebody. That's going to cause some serious trust issues. I just want to put that out.
I mean, it's like so we're gonna have. I mean, like in theory, we're gonna have Sam Lane dead after Lois has just had to deal with cancer. Because again, this season's writers, that would be not treated as a 1 week thing. Like that would be grief and actually the story of them. How do they have to deal with the fallout after Lex Luthor has basically had our grandfather killed and like, what do we do? It's payback. I mean, we got to not be. We have to figure out how to deal with Lex Luthor and put him back behind bars after unleashing Doomsday and this monster. As Bruno Mannheim told us, you should just let him stay in jail. Like this is on us. Us being good guys, we let him out, and now he's killed our father. So what do we do? So that's gonna be interesting.
Can I just say I hate this version of Lex Luthor? I mean, I can't. It's not even Lex. I don't know what's going on. It's like he's a rage head and he's like listening to hardcore rock music. I'm like, why?
I mean, like he's like listening to Thunder 65. Again, there's nothing. Again, I'm referencing again. I like my Superman animated Lex Luthor, like deliberate, smart. Like I'm the smartest dude in there. It's like not rage head. Like I don't buy this guy outsmarting anybody. I don't understand his. I mean, like the Lex in this show was like, what is he? It's like get me the dude. I mean, on some level, give me Jonathan Cryer's Supergirl back. I mean, Lex Luthor, because it's like I thought he was a really good character. I thought he was the smartest person in the whole CW. Yeah, like what I didn't understand. Like, why is Lex shaving his head if he's not bald? Just reasons. Like, what is that? I'm Motorhead. Like, what? What are you doing?
And then it ended it on a cliffhanger. So like, y'all better renew us, and they're like, all right, we will. So I don't know how I feel about next season. I feel like it's a really great season if you stop at the Mannheim arc wrapping, but I do kind of agree that losing so many supporting cast members is going to hurt the show, maybe to a level they can't quite overcome. I mean, you lose 7 supporting cast members, that shows you got too many. But maybe you kept 4 of them.
But you said they had the option to renew, so maybe most of them will come back in a reduced role, which would help the show focus on like kind of A level storyline. It's like instead of going with our A story gets maybe 35%, our B gets 25%, and so forth and so forth. Like if you can get it like the A level characters get 50% of the show, and then you have the B and C storylines with the remaining 50. It's like, okay, I think that's a good compromise. And then you have it like the people who aren't on every show, like, hey, we're going to do this show in Metropolis. So the whole family is going to go to Metropolis, and then you'll see John Henry and Nat in 2 episodes, and then we'll go back to Smallville. Like, I think that's a good workaround.
All right. Well, hopefully it works. I like the show a lot, and it's going to be the only superhero I'm reviewing. Superhero show I'm going to be reviewing because Disney Plus is going to have to move me back.
Go to review.
What was that? Oh, they said don't try it. All right, Afton Child had a serious question.
Okay.
Did you guys watch Twisted Metal? I was watching it. It's pretty good. Hope they do a season 2. And James Green says, I saw it. Like it, I agree. It needs a season 2. Guys, what is that on? I will watch it. I will review it. So let me know.
Yeah. Is that a Hulu?
Now, if it's on Hulu, that means I won't be watching until I decide to get one of those 30-day free passes. But let's give a big, huge round of applause to our guy, Blake. He's been doing his homework. He watched Guardians 3, Flash, Transformers Rise of the Beast. Let's hear what you thought about those 3. How would you rank them? And almost done with season 1 of Clone Wars. Please let me know what you thought. Let us know what you thought of season 1 of Clone Wars. Yeah. So, yeah, Blake, let us know. I definitely want to hear your thoughts. Hey, speaking of, very excited. Where is it? Of course, now I don't see it on the desk, but
I blame Lyle's figure files for you not being able to figure out where anything is. Like,
Peacock has it. That's awesome. That means I will watch it and review it. Oh, it's all the way on that side. All right. Fast X is coming to 4K, Blu-ray, and digital next Tuesday. The fine folks at Universal sent me a preview copy, so I get to watch Dante's Inferno and all the cool stuff that happens in Fast X. I don't mind saying this. This is my innocent pleasure. I love the Fast and Furious franchise, and so happy that they're still rolling. And I can watch Fast X as many times as I want to. Has anyone seen the Mint Mobile commercials with Alf? I have not. I didn't know they had anything new with Alf in a long time. Now I'm going to go search through eBay to track.
Ryan Reynolds with Alf. That sounds funny right there. Now I don't know. Like I guess because the actor strike is now taken out Deadpool 3, but I'm wondering like if they I'm hoping if they both settle soon, it's like we'll get a Deadpool where they can actually rewrite some of the lines and have it come out in the next 3 years.
You said Deadpool?
Yeah.
I mean, they were working on that, so that's not going to be affected like some of these other ones.
Well, it was because of the writer's strike. They wouldn't let Ryan Reynolds had to literally say the lines on the page. They couldn't rewrite or ad lib anything because it would technically be writing. So I wonder how many reshoots they're going to have to do because of that. Because like, oh yeah, I can do that better. So that's gonna be interesting. I mean, that's my little Elf tie-in.
Nice.
I was looking for the commercial.
All right. Oh yeah. I mean, man, Afton Child, we've been around too long, so yeah, definitely played it on PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, that's so. Clone Wars is great. I knew you were gonna feel it. 3 keeps going with it. Yeah, they do. Guardians was good in emotion, but they did killing really cute animals. Wish they killed Quill. Why? But over top emotion. Man, I was like, the lump in my throat during Guardians, like, come on, these are animals he just introduced. That's why I was like, you know what, James Gunn, you get a pass for me now, a free pass for this first phase of your DC movies, because if you can do that with random animals, I bet you're going to do just fine handling the iconic characters of the DC universe, or at the very least, treat them better than most of the current writers at DC Comics. And this is excluding Jeff Johns, the man, Jeremy Adams, Robert Venditti, Mark Waid, and surprisingly, Michael Doran. He's writing Steelworks, the John Henry Irons story. It's really good. And Tom Taylor's doing awesome stuff.
It's funny. I just finished reading Death Metal after actually having the graphic novel, and I'm just like, man, I'm really like, can you guys kill some more characters? Because it's just awesome. It's like, hey, we got to reset. It's like, yes, you did. Like, once again, just stick on the Rebirth way of writing and you will be good. Like, eventually you will win out. Like, I don't care what the numbers are keep telling you. Like, eventually you'll win out. Like, you'll get better headlines versus we killed somebody. Like, you're going to bring him back. Like, oh, we killed Miss. I mean, like, I know this is jumping from Marvel. Hey, we killed Miss Marvel. hey, we brought Ms. Marvel back before she even rolled over in her grave once. It's like this
dirt on her. Transformers look great. Humans were annoying. I want a full CGI Transformers, like the first 10 minutes of Bumblebee. Dude, that first 10 minutes of Bumblebee was so intense. I was like, oh man, what is happening? This is the Transformers movie I've always wanted. This the Transformers the movie.
Almost, you say? Yeah,
right.
I'm actually, you know what? I keep I know I keep randomly buying stuff on Amazon, literally just to get my promotion credit up high enough that I can say, oh, I got Rise of the Beast for free. It's a bad habit, but I'm pretty sure I'm just like, I'm gonna pull the trigger just so I can watch Rise of the Beast for free. I'm like, yeah, that was a good movie.
So, I mean, it's really novel to have Transformers where you can see the colors and distinguish them from a distance.
I mean, here's the deal. I'm sure that costs a whole lot more to do, but I think you could cut out 15 minutes of movie to put color on the Transformers so you actually know which Transformers are the good guys, bad guys. Like, it would just be easy. I think always when they messed me up is like I couldn't tell the difference truly between Megatron and Starscream. I'm like, you lose me big time. That was always and Skywarp, don't know him from Starscream. Like, okay, well, I'm good. Thanks.
Skywarp's all black. Yeah. After Child says, who would you like to see voice Link in a Legend of Zelda movie? I mean, and would it be animated or a live action Link?
Okay. Well, that's an interesting question. I would like to see a Legend of Zelda movie, a live action. I think you could do this. I mean, I'm sure like Nintendo's like, well, we had such success with Super Mario Brothers, we probably could stick right in this same realm. But I think Legend of Zelda could be a fun live action movie. I kind of like Timothy Chalamet would probably be the one I would cast as Link if I could do it. But
he doesn't like doing those kind of fun things.
Jeff, he's in Dune.
Oh. What's a very sophisticated fantasy side?
Sorry. You mean the actual beginning of a lot of sci-fi movies? It's fantasy sci-fi.
Oh, okay.
Like, when George Lucas was like, "Hey, kind of a reference point is Dune." Like, did you not catch that? Like rebellion kind of thing, deal. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that the misogyny talking?
Yeah, it was clearly. I'm gonna go with Matthew Mercer or Troy Baker. Either one of those guys doing voice acting for an animated Legend of Zelda movie, because I think and they're not hardly no names in the voice acting field, but I'm kind of like over the big name stars taking voice acting roles. It's like, I don't need to see Chris Pratt voicing a character. I mean, I'm not singling him out. It's just, I don't need to see the star. I don't need to see Ice Cube or Snoop while I'm hearing a character. Or Seth Rogen.
Would you go with Matt Liner?
Yeah, he's fine too. I mean, maybe his voice is a little bit too thick to be.
You would think of Anakin when you're hearing Link.
I would.
Yeah.
I'll take more Clone Wars.
Yeah.
All right. So Blake said Flash had his moments. The flashback CGI was horrible, but maybe on purpose. It sure seemed like it. The Batman scenes were great. I believed it was an older Batman fighting. True. The Flash suits look whack. Just in case anyone hasn't seen it, I will not put on the screen the spoiler. I really like that twist too. I thought it was cool and like, oh, and I'm certainly not going to fake like some of these know-it-alls and go, oh, I saw that coming all the way. I had no idea. I was like, oh, that makes sense. It worked. And, I just feel like, again, like Jason and I said so many times, they just used this for the last film of, after Blue Beetle, after Aquaman. It made so much more sense. Clean slate for the James Gunn and Peter Safran era of DC films.
And it means like I said, just referencing like was it black metal or dark metal? It's like it reboots it. It's like you can use your reboots. If you're gonna reboot a system, just you don't have to announce it. Just like, hey, we're gonna do it. It happens. You're like, wait, how did that happen? It's like, yeah, it happened. We did our thing. We've told our version of our story. Like, we're wrapping it up. Like, to try and say to not fully commit to that was a giant mistake.
A huge mistake. So Okay, so let's see. Can we get some toast? Has some more news, crumbs, on Gal Gadot continue on as Wonder Woman. Pre-strikes, Wonder Woman 3 is supposed to shoot this summer with a script by Patty Jenkins that Gal really liked. Jenkins was obviously returning to direct, but James Gunn scrapped her script entirely because he thought her take didn't fit where he wanted to take Wonder Woman in the DCU. This led to Jenkins no longer being involved in the project in any capacity. Gunn, Safran, and Godot will develop a new version of Wonder Woman 3 from scratch. At the end of the day, it won't really be Wonder Woman 3, but a reboot starring the same actress. Same things we saw in the previous movies will stay the same, some will change. Sounds nice and confusing, exactly like a DC movie universe should.
Oh,
Now,
so let's just admit that Wonder Woman 2 didn't count, and no one cared.
So. And no one cares. All right, well, it's that special time of the week, dear brother. Who are your nominees for Dummy of the Week?
Oh, I'm going to go with my Dummy of the Week is Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, because I think
no chance.
Because I think if he had stayed nice and retired, he wouldn't have got summons like, hey, remember that dirty deal you did before you got fired? Yeah, we'd like to talk to you about it. Like, I think you probably sold your company, had Triple and Stephanie be the faces of your company. They wouldn't have called you. But you deciding after you get in the building, you're like, I'm not going to stick around. They were like, we'd also like to talk to you. So Mr. McCann for deciding to stick around is my Dummy of the Week.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Can't really argue with that one. My Dummy of the Week has to be DC Comics for this ridiculous night terrors that I don't care about. It is just going on. It's like, hey, did you know that Superman, Batman, etc. was afraid of this? Here's a whole limited series about it. I don't care about DC anymore. Dr. Destiny was like the fake out main villain, but then there's somebody who's even more impressive than him, and it's just like, eh. And I neglected to mention Joshua Williamson is one of the good writers of DC. He made me get invested in that Night Terrors thing, but I don't care about all these spin-off deals. Don't care about them, but I'll keep reading the main story. Like, hey, no problem, man. I mean, I try to watch out just on that off chance that people haven't seen it. That's why I didn't say anything about other movies, but yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Hello, Oscar Isaac. It's Snake. Metal Gear, says Afterchild. Who will be the villain, and who would you like to see the villain and the actor who's going to play? All right, who do you think?
Man, okay. So
before we go.
Oh man, okay. So because this, the true last one I played was the one Metal Gear for PS3, and I think this wraps up the story. Who would I like to be Big Boss?
Kevin Spacey? He's working again,
I knew. Man, who would I have as a... Can't use Mark Strong. Who I got? Man, I gotta think. Oh, man. I'd have to think on that because that's
going to be our homework assignment. For
yeah, that's a cool one because I think that's the funny thing is after seeing good video games, like you're just like, hey guys, we've been telling you, like after seeing Uncharted, like, hey, we have something here, like we can make these things in a live action big blockbuster franchise movies. Like Metal Gear is one of those ones. You're like the twist. I mean, like. I don't know, like this, like in my college days, like I mean, this is like one of my college roommates who never played video games would literally play Metal Gear. Like,
who's this?
That was Kevin. Like he was playing Metal Gear, like running around in a little box, like it was just fun to do. So it's like, so you could do that, like those, like Metal Gear, like Big Boss, and like kind of the world organization you got going on there. Like I think that's a blockbuster to me.
Afterchild has it covered for us. I think that works.
That's a good one. That I think that was my head. I had it. And I'm like, who would literally like somebody like kind of older, but kind of gives it that, yeah. Like, okay, that's good gravitas. I like that one.
Blake says the plot point of Flash was making me think it was a trope used in other time travel movies like The Time Machine. Yeah, I liked how they pulled it off. I'm definitely not gonna hate on Flash because it's a cool thing to do. I enjoy Flash. Just wish they waited till the end of everything to pull it off.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be my top 10 movies here. Probably not. There are a lot of good movies, and I keep adding movies to the top 10 spot. But yeah, maybe it would be in my top 20 if I did it that far. Renaming Twitter X was dumb, and I'm not even on Twitter. Yeah, all that.
It's like what's even more fun is when you actually saw your logo on your phone go to that. You're like, what the heck is this? Oh, Twitter. Got it.
Woo. You know what's funny? When you put in Twitter, the big X comes up. It's like, stop.
No, which is really funny because I was actually looking for my dummy of the week. Is when you're like, I typed in Twitter and it's like, no, X. And then you're like, on the side, it's like, search Twitter. I'm like, you guys didn't even do your own code. Right? Like, I was really like, seriously? I was like, even you guys didn't scrub all mention of Twitter off your own site. Like,
yes. Feel free to tweet on X. Right. Gotcha. All right, bro, shot. That's going to do it for us on this episode. Remember, everybody, tomorrow I'll be back with another edition of Lyle's Figure Files, showing you the worst Walmart in the world. Maybe not the world, but at least in Maryland. So after child, 80s kid from the 90s, Blake James Green in the building. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. Make sure I covered everybody else who's here. We'll be back better than ever next week. For now, this episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been fun.